Season of Discovery is trash, is what a lot of people seem to be saying, but I disagree. Here's why. So when SOD got announced, it didn't seem like what we've been asking for. Reducing the level cap, adding a couple of abilities. We wanted Classic Plus. Where was the content? But as we began to explore this season, we've realized there's so much more to this adventure than what we saw at face value. But what exactly is it that this season has introduced that's got experienced players hyped and drawn a huge amount of new players to the game at the same time? First and foremost, the game still has that classic WoW feel. You know exactly what I'm talking about. World of Warcraft is an MMO, and the thing that makes MMO so great, and what classic WoW did better than probably any MMO ever, is bring the world to life in a way that only an MMORPG can. By not straying too far away from its roots, Season of Discovery manages to keep that classic WoW feel. Sure, we may have wanted Classic Plus, new zones, new dungeons, raids, heck, maybe even new classes and new races, but what Blizzard have done here, in my opinion, is genius. They've made enough changes to the game this season that it feels new and fresh, but kept enough the same to retain that unique, unmatched feeling of classic World of Warcraft. We still want to log in and check out and explore the new additions, but we immediately get that comfortable sense of nostalgia and familiarity at the same time. It's a perfect balance. This extends to another pillar of what makes an MMO worth playing: the community. This season still has the community feel that comes with classic WoW. There's still no dungeon finder, you still need to go train your skills. There's no one riding around on a mount with an auction house on it, so the main cities always feel populated and alive. You can't just freely teleport around everywhere or fly across the world in a couple of minutes. All these elements that make classic WoW feel alive remain integral in the Season of Discovery. But Blizzard took it one step further. They've dedicated time to learning why classic WoW is so good, and one thing that they recognized is that the community is the pillar holding everything else up, and that has greatly influenced several of the new features that they've implemented in this season. Look at supply crates for an example. Yeah, they give you a little bit of money and XP and that's great, but that's secondary to the real benefit of this system. It incentivizes professions even more, so that encourages players to get out in the world, gather, fish, cook, craft things, trade with other players. There are so many levels to why professions being important and impactful can benefit the game. They already mattered in classic WoW, but Blizzard added another layer on top of this to make them even more appealing. They get what's making classic WoW so good, they're understanding the player base, and that is really exciting. So next I want to talk about the early level cap. In SOD they capped the max level at 25, and when I first heard this, I thought it sounded awful. Why would they want to cut out such a large portion of the game? There's so much awesome content and progression available past level 25. But since playing, it makes perfect sense. First of all, it makes the level cap achievable for pretty much everybody. In classic WoW, reaching level 60 is an achievement in itself. It can take a really long time, especially if you're playing solo as one of those classes that struggle early on. That struggle to get to 60 is an awesome part of classic for a lot of people, but for so many people the time investment to get to endgame is just too much. But getting to level 25, that's a different story. That's an encouraging, achievable goal for pretty much anybody who plays the game. So immediately, Blizzard have included a huge amount of people who just felt excluded before. It's an awesome change. The level 25 cap also allows Blizzard to cut the game into phases. Phases are awesome. They allow players to feel continuously interested in the game. If the season released with a level cap of 60, that would be it. The new season features that they added would be pretty much done. The try-hard players would rush right to the end of the game and complete it as soon as they could. Everyone else would get left behind. The intrigue would end. The population of the game would start to dwindle within just weeks. Instead, we can reach level 25, explore all the new additions, the new abilities, the raid, and then once we feel like we've experienced all the content and we want to stop playing, suddenly information's going to start to come in about phase 2, and we're going to get excited for the game all over again. What new systems are they going to introduce? What's the new raid going to be? I wonder what new runes will come out this time. How much are they going to change my character? One season is instead going to become a series of mini-seasons. Each hopefully as exciting as the last, if not better. That's amazing for players and it's great for the game. The population fall off is going to drastically lessen. Honestly, Blizzard, it's genius. And then we come to alts. So again, while Classic WoW's original level cap and the journey of getting there is part of what made Classic so great, for most players, it completely kills any motivation to make an alt. It's such a long journey to get to 60. The idea of doing it again straight away on another character, maybe even several, is exhausting. But getting a few characters to level 25? It's so achievable that suddenly the idea of having alts is really appealing. And that's amazing in a season with so many changes. It means that we can make alts to experience that Warlock tanking, that Mage healing, that Shaman tanking, those new DPS abilities for most classes. All of these awesome new things that the Rune System has brought for every class. And with such a low level cap, we can. This is yet another element that's going to keep players in the game, keep the population alive. Instead of quitting, people are going to make alts. I think this season is going to be one of the most consistently populated versions of Classic WoW we've ever seen. There's just so many elements that Blizzard have put in that all focus on player satisfaction and retention. And all of this in just Phase 1. I'm already getting excited about Phase 2, and I can't wait to make videos for you guys about it. If you want to be on that journey with me, hit subscribe. But speaking of runes, let's talk about them. That feeling of discovery that you get going through Classic WoW for the first time, no matter how many times you re-release Vanilla WoW, it's never going to feel quite the same, but it's still a key hook that keeps players wanting to play Classic all these years later. Blizzard had to come up with a way of recreating that feeling again, at least as much as they can, and they came up with the Rune System. These runes and how you acquired them, at least initially, were a mystery. It was a discovery, taking you to different parts of the world. A lot of them make you join up with other players. It's a really nice way of putting a new adventure into the game, all while rewarding you with game-changing effects and abilities. And these abilities aren't insignificant. They're things that players have long tried to bring into reality. Warlock tanking, Shaman tanking, even Mage healing. Blizzard have unlocked the ability to bring these to life by introducing the Rune System. They're able to break out of the creative constraints of sticking exactly to vanilla WoW. Instead now they're able to experiment and take inspiration from decades of player imagination. We get to keep that feeling of nostalgia, familiarity, but at the same time it's different. It's got a bit of added spice.
Spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
Another part of WoW that Blizzard know that WoW players love, World PvP. And again, they've not only recognized what players want, but they've given it to us. Honestly, World PvP is something that players have done throughout the history of WoW with no reward, but they made it really rewarding too. First of all, you get quite a lot of reputation for your Warsong Gulch reputation, so the Silverwing Sentinels for the Alliance and the Warsong Outriders for the Horde, and then they've added a whole bunch of new rewards from that reputation. For a start, you can get mounts. They're limited to Ashen Vale only. You get a Night Saber for the Alliance and a Wolf for the Horde, and you only need to be friendly with the faction to get these, and they just make this World PvP event even more fun. Then once per weekly reset, you can even get a new world buff. Mobs that you kill during an event can drop something that starts a quest. When you turn it in, you get 5% extra healing and damage for 2 hours. Nice little way to boost up your logs in BFD. And then there's a whole bunch of new gear that's been added for those Warsong Gulch reputations too. And seriously, who doesn't love World PvP? There's even a new raid in Blackfathom Deeps. It's a new raid experience, which is great in itself, but the best thing about it is 10 player. Am I against 40-man raiding? No. Are they going to add another 40-man raid before Season of Discovery is over? Probably, but 40-man raids are naturally less accessible. It's insanely difficult to organise a 40-man pug raid, let alone a 40-man guild roster, but 10-man? That's easy. It's simple to make a quick group of random people, or have a regular group of friends that make the entirety of a raid team. It's just another element of this system that keeps saying to players, this is Classic WoW, with all the benefits of Classic WoW, but because you don't have much free time doesn't mean you can't join the fun. Accessible for everyone is the name of the game here. Honestly, I'm blown away by Blizzard's direction with all of this. They seem to have genuinely recognized what's so great about Classic WoW. They haven't tried to reinvent the wheel and give us some kind of new game. They're just giving us more of what we love and making it accessible to more people. And they've got a whole year of content lined up for Season of Discovery. And if you want to know all about that, then click this video here. I will see you there.